Welcome to the Know. I'm Ashley Jenkins.
And I'm Adam Ellis.
Everyone's happy that DICE is going back to World War I for Battlefield 1, but once upon a time, Activision, of all people, considered going back even further than that.
Before Call of Duty Modern Warfare, slightly more Modern Warfare, and Super Space Adventure Warfare, we almost had Call of Duty Roman Wars.
Kind of seems like they should have just called it Roman Warfare to keep in the
Stick
theme.
to that.
So that's what we're going to call it, because Roman Wars just... nah. The story of how Roman Warfare nearly came to be and failed to release gives an interesting picture of the same spot that Activision finds itself in now that they're trying some kind of drastic things to reinvent their franchise.
The sad tale of Roman Wars comes by way of Games Radar.
Roman Warfare, we talked about this.
Roman Warfare comes by way of Games Radar, who reported on it thanks to an inside source who worked on the game. The source wished to remain anonymous, going only by the codename Polymus.
That is the spirit of war and battle for those keeping score at home, so now we've all learned some vocabulary as well today. According to the mysterious Polymus, Call of Duty Roman Warfare was a third and first-person action-adventure game slated for a hopeful release around the launch of the PS4 and Xbox One in 2013.
Development started on the title back in 2008 from Activision-owned studio Vicarious Visions. They've worked on games like Marvel Ultimate Alliance, Tony Hawk's Underground, Jedi Knight 2, awesome game, and mostly devote their efforts to Skylanders these days.
So a little bit different. But 8 years ago, they set their iron sights on Call of Duty. Thanks to the booming success of the shooter franchise, Activision put out an active call for pitches asking for its many studios to bring their best ideas for how to reinvent the series going forward.
Polymus said anything that we put out that had Call of Duty on it, whatever we were sticking out, was really selling well. So Activision gave some studios an opportunity to test their capabilities on the franchise, and whoever had the winning idea would get to take the IP.
Well, it's nice to hear someone at Activision finally say that whatever they slap the Call of Duty name on will still make billions of dollars no matter what. I mean, we all knew it, but it's nice to hear them say it.
Out of this call for pitches came Vicarious Visions' Roman Wars.
Roman Warfare!
Roman Warfare, a story that would have put players in the shoes of Caesar's famous 10th Legion.
The 10th Legion, also known as Legio X, or Legio 10 Equestris, depending on how you want to read that X. It sounds kind of like a Final Fantasy game. Played a huge role in the Gallic Wars, which was Rome's campaign against the Germanic and Celtic people in Gaul that opposed Roman rule.
According to Polymus, the game's tone was inspired by Gladiator in 300. No surprise there.
Yeah, sure, of course they were.
Well, gameplay was designed to emulate Assassin's Creed from a third-person standpoint and the Condemned and Xenoclash for the first-person portion.
Yeah, and true to the Call of Duty name, Roman Warfare was going to allow players to jump perspectives to different places in the war. You'd move between officers, grunts, cavalry, archers, and all the way up to taking the role of Caesar, commanding your troops in battle.
Games Radar got its hand on some very early build footage, which showcases the first level of the game, centering on the Battle of Elsia. There was a speech from Caesar, horseback gameplay, doing battle with archers, siege engines, catapults, and even a rideable elephant.
Of course there was a rideable elephant.
Rideable.
It was rideable.
It's irrelevant.
If all of this is sounding just maybe a tiny bit like Rise, the Xbox One launch title, well, Polymus says that's just proof that the people really wanted a game like this, even though it never saw the light of day. According to Polymus, when we saw that, we were just like, see, we knew.
Yeah, you totally called the massive success of Roman War games, buddy.
You did it.
Rise, if you're wondering, just sold over 1 million units.
And, for I guess like more modest games, 1 million units is pretty good, but for like a pillar
Big
of
AAA
a
title,
platform
not
launch
great.
with millions and millions and millions of dollars of marketing spent on it, 1 million is not good. But that didn't exactly faze Polymus, who went on to say they weren't sure if it was going to resonate as strongly, but then a launch title actually was a freaking ancient Roman warfare game. I think if Call of Duty did that, and they did it with the mechanics we were working with and that engine, that launch title would have been a lot bigger and a lot more well received.
Whether or not the sources shoulda, woulda, coulda is actually right or not, Call of Duty Roman Warfare was ultimately axed by Activision because of a reluctance to give the game that was so different the same branding as Call of Duty.
But it
turned into Rise.
It did almost get approved though before they just went, I'll call it Rise and make it different. The game impressed Activision higher ups enough that it went all the way up the chain to Bobby Kotick, the company's CEO and president. The game they chose instead though, Advanced Warfare.
Which set them on a path of going more and more in the future, and now they've got nothing left but a fistful of YouTube dislikes.
And billions of dollars. What's interesting about this story is that all the way back in 2008, that's just 1 year after Modern Warfare and the same year as World at War, Activision had the feeling that any Call of Duty would print money, and they needed to look at ways to change up the formula.
It's a weird combination of both hubris and foresight at the same time. They had a sense of just how strong the brand was and how they needed to protect it, but also that they ran the risk of exhausting the property if they didn't try something new.
And that was even before any of the really big selling titles in the franchise, like the list of the top Call of Duty selling games of all time, Modern Warfare and World at War. They're all the way down at 8 and 9 all these years later.
Beating them are, of course, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2, Ghosts, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 3, and Advanced Warfare. So in the years following 2008, the game sales have only continued to climb.
So maybe they made a good call for not opting to go Roman quite yet. But looking at Roman Wars or Roman Warfares kind of paints a picture of a company at a crossroads. And ultimately, at least for themselves, they probably made the right calls. Switching between multiple teams to give the franchise a different feel and setting definitely paid off. It's allowed them to keep releases on an annual schedule where other yearly series have run into a little bit of trouble, especially now that they've got 3 studios working on it, so every game has 3 years of development time.
Right.
I think it's shown for sure.
Regardless of if you like that method of development or not, it's done for them exactly what they wanted, to sell a shitload of games.
That's what they wanted? Who knew? Depending on how you feel about Activision's latest attempts with Infinite Warfare, we could be looking at the publisher finding themselves at yet another crossroads 8 years later. We'll have to see where they go from here, but as we all know, all this has happened and will happen again.
What do you guys think about the newly resurfaced Call of Duty Roman Warfare? Let us know in the comments below.
And for future Call of Duty news and all the Roman Warfare you can handle, like this video and subscribe to the Know. We can rename games, right? That's a thing we can do. Yeah.
Elephant Warfare.
Do the poppy thing.
Were we not recording on the poppy thing? Ew.
I don't even do it again.
It's fine. It's fine.
Ew.
It's fine. It's fine.
No.
It's all normal.
No.